Hi, welcome to the first episode of Smarter Computing Radio powered by IBM. During this podcast series, we'll be talking to the IT decision makers who are using technology to transform their organizations and improve business performance. We'll also talk to key IBM executives about what smarter computing means to CIOs and their teams, and how companies have benefited from a smarter approach to infrastructure and architecture. I'm your host, Rob Enderle. I've been covering technology trends for the better part of 2 decades, and I'll be joined on this broadcast by my colleague Patrick Gray, who has been reporting on enterprise information technology for 11 years and is best known as the host of the award-winning Risky Business Information Security podcast.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Rob. Our broadcast today features 3 IBM executives: Marc Deparquier, who is the Vice President of Global Marketing Communications and Strategy for IBM Systems and Technology Group; Lisa Johnson, who is the Vice President of Smarter Computing for IBM; and also Susan Blocker, Vice President of Marketing and Communication for IBM's Systems and Technology Group in growth markets.
Mark, looking at smarter computing, which is the topic of today's call, what was the origin of smarter computing? I mean, where did it start out?
Well, it's I would say the origin of smarter computing started with the creation of Smarter Planet. And if you go back a few years ago, IBM started to speak about the Smarter Planet. And this vision for a Smarter Planet was coming from the fact that, we live in a world now which is very, very fast, extremely instrumented, with a ton of data being created every day and creating a number of challenges as well as opportunities, and in a world in which industries could have been completely redefined. And IBM started to speak about Smarter Planet, and we started to speak about, for example, smarter cities, and how you could think of IT into the cities a different way. So as we do it, obviously, then the next logical step for us is to say, okay, but now if I do a smarter cities, what does this mean for the IT organization? Mm-hmm. And clearly, the smarter computing is the other side of the coin here. If the smarter cities is the functionality vision, the smarter computing is what needs to happen to the IT organization to support a smarter planet.
So while this sounds very simple, the process of bringing this concept to fruition and to actually create something that was very real to the customer sounds like it was pretty difficult.
Just to go to this, it's so we summarized the key challenges, that the clients are facing along 3 major themes, which are the 3 emerging themes or patterns that clients are telling us are the most important to them. And the word we use, and I will come back to these words, are cloud, data, and security. And into this you have more. And but the way we expressed it is, if you want to have your computing infrastructure ready, for the smarter planet, you need to have the infrastructure ready, meaning that are you cloud ready, are you data ready, and are you security ready?
So part of the Smarter Computing Initiative is actually getting people to use the right tool for the right problem.
Yes, exactly.
So why should IT professionals be interested in smarter computing? I mean, what's the most compelling aspect of this?
Well, first, it's if you go back to what I explained earlier, Sure. It's not an IBM point of view. It's a summary of what IBM heard from hundreds of clients we interviewed.
It's an industry point of view.
Yes, exactly. So if you are a CIO or an IT manager somewhere, this is a summary of what your peers told us. And very likely many of the problems they faced, are a problem that you may face. It's when clients are telling us 70% of my IT budget is devoted to operation and maintenance, well, this may happen to you. When clients are speaking about the devices and the headache that is to have, head of sales telling you that he will deploy 1,000 iPad, for example, and, maybe you will have the same problem. If you hear people telling that their IT infrastructure is attacked thousands of times every day, well, that's a concern. It's and even us. We on security, we run the U.S. Open, Wimbledon, French Open, Australian Open tennis website.
Sure.
And we get about 80,000 cyber incidents every day.
Wow.
And because that's a very visible website that people want to break into. And you know that the average total cost of a data breach is about $5.5 million. So it's and you know that the increase in the cost of lost data is about is increasing 68%. So all this is compelling for clients. And then say, okay, I have a problem here, and is IBM up to helping me with this problem? And that's why we built it.
And in the end, basically, the clients are turning their companies into much smarter organizations, and IT is becoming far more strategic.
Yeah, that's clearly the intent, and I think it's what's happening, exactly.
Well, Mark, that concludes our questions. I want to thank you for joining me. This is Rob Enderle for Smarter Computing Radio. Please stay tuned to hear from Patrick Gray as he discusses smarter computing further with Lisa Johnston, Vice President, Smarter Computing, IBM. We've also just got word that IBM Australia will be showcasing a lot of their smarter computing experts and technologies at several events in late 2012. vForum will be kicking off on November 14, 2012 in Sydney, covering all things virtualization. And then later in the month, noted analyst firm IDC will be holding a couple of events focusing on enterprise systems. The dates for those are November 20th in Sydney and November 22nd in Melbourne. Next time you find yourself in Singapore, one place you should definitely spend some time at is IBM's brand new purpose-built client center. It occupies an entire floor at their complex in Tampines and is the regional benchmarking and proof of concept center, as well as hosting dedicated areas for industry solutions for banking, telecommunications, and the public sector. If you'd like to spend some time with the experts who designed and built this state-of-the-art data center, send an email to sgcc@sg.ibm.com.
You're listening to Smarter Computing Radio. I'm Patrick Gray. And we're speaking now with Lisa Johnston, IBM's Vice President for Smarter Computing Worldwide Marketing. So to begin with, when we think of smarter computing, there are going to be people out there who say that this is just an IBM marketing slogan. What is it that you would say to them to disprove that?
It's really so much different than a marketing slogan. We, first of all, have been talking about smarter computing now for a couple of years. And I think of it as a point of view that we've developed. My job is to create the voice for IBM around our perspective on infrastructure. And by infrastructure, what I mean is systems, whether that's hardware, the software that runs on the hardware, systems networking, whether that's software middleware or services, and how a CIO and IT leaders deal with the pressures and the expectations and the great opportunities that are out there that they can take advantage of.
Now, this is a change. There have been market forces that have driven IBM to make this change. I mean, what are those market forces?
Those market forces have really boiled down to several things. There are really three key areas that I think are most important and that we've found in the work that we do. One is the force of data and the ability of data to bring entirely new insights to an organization. So there's the opportunity in this world of exploding quantities of data, volumes of data, all kinds of structured and unstructured data sources. There's a great opportunity to unlock the power of data in order to find more insights. So that's the first one. We think of that as data. The second is cloud. Cloud is a really fabulous enabling technology that allows a couple of important things to happen. First of all, it provides flexibility and speed to market of new services. We can do things very quickly in a cloud infrastructure. Secondly, it allows for great efficiency and for clients to improve efficiency when they can use shared resources, whether they choose a private cloud, a public cloud, a hybrid solution. Cloud really helps speed time to market and speed and improve efficiency. And the third thing that really underpins all of this is security. I mean, with cloud, with mobility, with social data, the world has opened itself up to many more exposures, if you will, in terms of risk and in terms of compliance.
Is this an approach that is better applied to one industry vertical as opposed to another? I mean, which types of organizations do you feel would benefit from this approach?
I cannot think of an organization that would not benefit. We've worked with small organizations. We've worked with large enterprises. We've worked across many different parts and segments and industries. We have case studies that are public and available with companies from financial institutions that have used a smarter computing approach to improve the way that they look at data, the way that they leverage cloud, and the way they create a secure environment. We've worked with hospitals and healthcare organizations. We've worked with energy providers. We've worked all the way down to school systems. I think that there's something in here for any organization.
All right, well, Lisa Johnston, thank you so much for chatting with us here on Smarter Computing Radio.
Thanks very much. It was my pleasure.
If you're listening to Smarter Computing Radio in India, IBM invites you to see PureFlex in action for yourself. Live at any one of their 3 solution centres, the PureFlex system is in action in the Mumbai, Delhi and Bangalore solution centres. To arrange your own private demonstration of PureFlex, please send an email to pureflex@in.ibm.com. It's time for a deeper look now at how smarter computing principles can be applied to growth markets. So we're talking with Susan Blocker, Vice President at IBM's Systems and Technology Group's Growth Market Unit. Susan, can you tell us if there are any challenges in emerging markets, in growth markets, to which these smarter computing principles can be applied?
Yeah, there are some unique characteristics of businesses in growth markets. One of those characteristics is incredible scale. So we're finding many companies out here, China is a great example, where the growth rate of the number of customers that they have to serve is just growing exponentially. And so when you think of smarter computing in the context of dealing with this grand scale and the growth rate that we see out here in the growth markets, you really see the opportunity to leverage cloud as an approach to provide services rapidly and innovate on those services rapidly out to a very broad set of clients. You see the opportunity or the need to manage an incredible amount of data and do that efficiently, effectively, and securely. And you know, that word secure is so significant out in the growth markets. Operating between many countries across Asia Pacific, Africa, Latin America, really security becomes a critical factor in building an infrastructure that will support a true smarter computing approach.
Now, do you think the smarter computing approach is, a greenfields approach? Do you think this is a case where, if people have a bunch of legacy stuff happening, that they have to shut that down and start again? Or is it compatible with non-greenfields deployments? Can you actually integrate this with existing solutions?
Yes, this is a great question, because in the growth markets, in many cases, they don't have the inhibitor of a lot of investment in legacy infrastructure and legacy systems. So this can often free these companies to leapfrog to the most advanced and latest technology. But that has to be balanced with simplicity in implementation. That's got to be really, as automated and straightforward as possible. And it's got to be cost effective for these companies.
But now that cloud is becoming a much more mainstream and accepted technology within, enterprise and government, are we seeing stuff starting to be virtualized, like legacy apps starting to actually be virtualized and brought into the cloud? Is that something that is advocated as part of this strategy?
Yes, you're exactly right. What we're seeing is our clients are virtualizing their legacy systems. What's interesting about what we see in the growth markets in particular is that oftentimes these systems are not from a single vendor. So it's a multi-vendor environment, often with multiple operating systems, and virtualization becomes a critical element in being cloud ready. And it is what enables our clients to extract the optimal benefit from their IT infrastructure and the investments they've made without having to operate in little silos across these, what can be very siloed infrastructures.
Well, Susan Blocker, it's been very interesting talking to you about smarter computing, so thank you very much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll have cause to speak to you again.
Thank you, Patrick.
The Smarter Computing Radio Resource Center is now live on TechTarget. Just go to tiny.cc/scradio. You can download white papers, make contact with any of the experts from the show, or get into the detail of some of the solutions we're talking about on Smarter Computing Radio. That's tiny.cc/scradio. Well, that concludes our first episode of Smarter Computing Radio. I'm Rob Enderle, and thank you for joining.
And I'm Patrick Gray, also thanking you for listening. In our next episode, we'll be coming to you from the IBM Interconnect Conference in Singapore. More than 2,500 IT executives and decision makers from 52 countries will be gathering to discuss how information and technology are driving innovation in organizations all around the world. Until then, that's it for us. We hope you've enjoyed listening.